Okay, welcome to BFS Wargaming. It's Patrick again and
John.
So we're going to do 2,000 points of Orks versus Necrons. It's so we're going to do a pre-Codex Orks game, and then once the Codex comes out, whenever that is in the far distant future, we're going to do a post Codex game. Might be a slightly different list depending on obviously what happens with the Codex. There are some unpainted models in John's list. Obviously we're a fairly new channel, so we are all trying to frantically get our armies painted so they look good for the back reps. But some of us get a bit more time than others. You know, some of us have got families and jobs that have a lot of hours and all those things. So we apologise for that, but we will in future try our hardest as much as we can to get models painted for the back reps. So we're going to get 2,000 points each, so we're going to go through John's list and he's going to talk you through all the choppers and knobs and whatnot.
Just from the side, as a side note, we're sticking with 2,000 points, aren't we, as we move forward?
Yes.
Because obviously Great Games Workshop are changing theirs to 1,750 for their tournaments, aren't they?
Oh, okay.
But I think, is it a case of, obviously we don't generally play tournament lists, we tend to play more fluffy or just get involved with a lot of units so we can see what everything does and show you what we can do. And obviously 2,000 points.
Because the ITC tournaments have been 2,000 points up until this point. I'm not sure if they're changing. But yeah, I think 2,000 points is a nice
you can get plenty of toys in, can't you?
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
Just the bare
it's good fun, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, should make it more interesting for you. But anyway, back to the list. So yeah, Orks today. Haven't played these for 9 months, roughly speaking. Since everyone else started getting codexes, they started getting a bit mauled, to be honest, in my games. So, but here we got a Ork list today. It's 2,000 points, as Pat said. We've got a battalion and a spearhead detachment. So the battalion, as I run through it, we've got the 2 HQs. We've got a big mech with a custom force field and a Grot Oiler, unfortunately one of my unpainted models. He's also got Head Whopper's Kill Chopper as his weapon to replace his big chopper.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. We then got a Weird Boy next to him, one of the few painted models, which has got the jump, kind of the staple. You really need to take that, I think, with Orks at the moment, personally. For troops, we've taken 4 lots of troops, just to give me a bit of flexibility. We have got 3 blobs of boys, one with, all with Slugger Chopper, one with 10 boys and a boss knob, which will be here, one with 11 boys and a boss knob, here, and one 30-boy boss knob blob here. All of those just Slugger Chopper, and the boss knobs all have big choppers. Innuendo central, isn't it?
It really is.
We then got
Gretchen.
Yeah. Then got some Gretchen here, quite a big blob at 22 of them. They're good for sort of just grabbing objectives and stopping deep strike and being a screen unit as well against charges, so quite useful to take there. We've then got the 2 dedicated transports, which are just 2 trucks with big shooters.
Magnet size this one, yeah.
You've then got Spearhead Detachment. Got 2 HQs in that. We've got Snickrot right here, the Commando HQ, and we've got our Warlord for today, who is Gazkul Thraka. It's a Cromlech model holding its place. He has got Might is Right as his Warlord trait. Not used Gazkul before in a list, and not really used a great deal of NECRON Orks either, so it should be interesting to see how they get on.
They look cool, don't they?
They do look really cool. I really like the Cromlech models, all the Mega Knob looking ones. Really interesting.
Yeah. You've done a good job on painting as well.
Yeah, quick washes again, lazy painter. So
they look good, don't they?
We've then got Spearhead's got the Battle Wagon as one of its heavies, which has got hard case, so that stops people from shooting out of its closed top rather than open top now. But it puts its toughness up to 8 rather than 7, I believe it is.
Wow.
Then taking a unit of 5 big guns right here. So we're having 2 lobbers pointing up in the air, 2 cannons just pointing normally, and this one with the little shield on is sort of proxying as a zap gun for today. And the final unit on the Spearhead is a unit of 10 looters, which are quite a useful unit. They've got a good old range, I think it's 36 or 48 inches. They've got quite a long range, D3 shots, strength 6, so not bad.
Cool.
Just think, what else have we got after that? The only thing we've got left is 2 elites, just to fill some points, which is the 3 mega knobs over here, and a squad of commandos with a boss knob commando as well, obviously to complement Snickrot. So overall, there's a lot of flexibility.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, tank busters as well. 10 tank busters with 2 bomb squeaks as well. So yeah, there is quite a lot of flexibility. There's quite a lot of units for you to see as well. So we can hopefully have a bit of everything going on today with the list.
Yeah, it's a nice, well-rounded list. You got your troops in. You got a couple of elites, some heavies, some wagons and stuff. I think it's gonna be a nice, well-rounded list. It will be interesting to see how this list will change once the codex comes out.
Yeah,
what you would then decide to play depending on what comes out in the codex.
Yeah.
Obviously, it depends on what GW.
The thing is, although there's a lot of models on the table, I've tried to stay away from pure green tide of blobs of 30 everywhere.
Yeah,
and try to do something a bit different, because everyone's seen green tide, everyone's played it, everyone knows how it plays. So if we try something a bit different, and as I say, show you something different. So.
And that's one thing with when the codex comes out, it'll be good if, I think how it's happened with a lot of armies, it's become that there's lots of different ways to play them once the codex comes out, and it will be nice to see the Orks being able to be played in different ways, not just always the green tide,
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they'll become more competitive moving forward. So.
Okay, well, you say that, but they have won a couple of tournaments.
They have, yeah. We'll see how they get on.
So we're going to move on to the Necrons, and we'll quickly run through them and show you what we got of those. Okay, so Necrons. So we have a battalion detachment and an outrider detachment. So we'll go through the battalion detachment first. So we've got 2 units of 18 warriors. We've got a unit of 5 Tesla Immortals. We have Citan the Nightbringer, and he will have Antimatter Meteor and Sky of the Falling Stars. We have a unit of 5 Destroyers, a Doomsday Ark. We have a Cryptek with a Chronometron, and we have the Overlord, who is taking a War Scythe, but he's taking the Relic, the Void Reaper. We have an Outrider attachment over here, so we have the outrider attachment is going to be Saltec, so we're going to have 2 units of 3 Scarabs, and then we've got 6 Wraiths with transdimensional beamers, and then we have Alunes Azarius, who will be our Warlord, and he will have the Warlord trait Immortal Pride. And Immortal Pride is where you automatically pass morale, and you can deny the Witch once per turn. So that's actually 1,995 points of Necrons. Yeah, so Mefrit is the battalion, Saltec is the outrider, so Mefrit is the -1 AP and half range. Saltec is where you can move, you can advance, and if your weapons are anything other than assault, they turn to assault. And if they don't advance and it's a heavy weapon, then it doesn't get the penalty to hit when it's heavy. So I've sort of probably, this is the most warrior heavy army I've ever taken. So I've got 2 blobs of 18 warriors. I thought I'd try and compete with John's boys, see if we can have a bit of a troop off, and then everything else is just sort of centered around that. So hopefully he won't do too much damage, and I'll be able to reanimate. That's the plan.
Hopefully I'll do a lot of damage and we won't be able to reanimate.
So we'll see what happens, but it should be a good game. I've got 5 CP for the battalion, 1 for the outrider detachment, and then 3 to be in battle force. So I have 9 -1 because I've actually got the relic, the Veil of Darkness. So I've got 2 relics, so I've got -1 CP for that. So I'm actually on 8 CP. How many command points did you have?
Mine will be 9 as well. I've
Yeah.
got a spearhead for 1, a battalion for 5, and obviously
the 3 for battle force.
Yeah, so 9.
Okay, so we'll get the board and table ready, and we'll sort out the deployment, what mission we're playing, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, so we've deployed. Necrons deployed down here. We've got Immortals Wraiths, Cetan, a couple of warrior blobs, destroyers, and Doomsday Ark over here. So we're doing hammer and anvil deployment and race to victory, where you get 3 victory cards per turn, and it's a race to get to see you can get to complete the 10th objective. So the Orcs got a couple of trucks with, one of them's got some tank busters one's got some boys. This wagon has lots of stuff in it. It's got
boys, it's got mega knobs, it's got a big mech with a custom force field, and it's got a gas gun thracker.
There you go, a lot. And then we got looters up here, the artillery line, this nice direction line, and then we got big blubber boys and a weird boy behind here. I wonder what they're going to do. And we've got the objectives set out. The board's looking really nice.
I'll leave it there. That's fine.
And all the objectives. So we're going to go into roll off. So Orcs actually get +1 to their roll as they finish deploying first. So roll off. So Orcs to go first. Let's see if I seize. No. So Orcs first turn.
Right, so end of the first Orc movement phase. All we've done is move up these 2 trucks. The one with the tank bus has just moved. This one with the boys advanced as well. Only got 4, unfortunately. Pretty much everything else stayed still, apart from this battle wagon just here, which moved up. Tried to stay sort of in the middle of the buildings, get close to objectives and the like. And that's pretty much the end of my movement phase. So you can see still a distance between. There's a lot of stuff staying still because it's shooty. And the Gretchen line, or Grot line, staying still as well. Onto the psychic phase, which I wonder what I'm going to try and do. Right, so end of the shooting phase. Cannons out of range, so we shot the lobbers over here and inflicted 1 wound. We shot both trucks at their big shooters, both at this squad of Scarabs. Did absolutely nothing because we missed the wound roll, unfortunately. Shot the tank busters over at the Scarabs and took the Wraiths, and took one of those out. I think, was it 1 or 2?
You know, one with the tank busters and one with the...
Oh yeah, one with the tank busters. We used the looters and used Daka, so 6s on the hits rolls got us extra hit rolls. Managed to get a D3 off at 3 attacks each, so that was 30 shots into there, and picked up an extra 4 shots, I think it was, 4 or 5 shots.
Least, yeah.
So I managed to take out a Wraith nicely there as well. Then shot the battle wagon, which has 2 rocket launchers and 2 big shooters, all at the Wraiths again, and unfortunately only, that was 1 wound, wasn't it?
No, you missed
it. Nothing. So end of the movement phase, that's where we stand. End of the shooting phase, rather, that's where we stand. I should probably put in the jump as well. We jump this lot of boys into this blob here, so right in the middle of some warriors, some Scarabs and some Wraiths. So we'll see what happens in the assault phase, turn 1.
Yeah, sorry, 1 went through.
Right, so that's the end of my assault or charge phase, whatever you want to call it. All we did, we managed to charge in here, lost 4 to Overwatch on the Warriors. Got a charge of 12 in, so managed to get a fair few in there. In the fight, yeah, managed to kill 8 Warriors in that first combat. So we'll see how many come back. But that's all I did charge-wise there. So over to the cards. I have achieved 1 by those things, which is going to be area denial. 1 victory point if there are no enemy models within 6 inches of the centre of the battlefield.
So there's no within 12 because where I started.
Because he's not moved, and that's the end of my turn. So D3, let's see what we got. Just the 2, so that's 2 points. Big game hunter, nothing over 10 wounds even bothered with. And secure objective 4 is just a bit out of reach, but I didn't really want to go for that one quite yet. I don't want to disembark all those models there, to be honest with you. So those are left as they are. So on to Necron turn 1.
Okay, Necron turn 1 movement. Over here, the Necron warriors that lost 8 managed to reanimate 7, which was a pretty good roll. And my will be done was done onto these. I actually forgot that Illuminous Azar is here. He is going to augment, which is at the end of the movement phase. He's going to augment that front group of warriors, and he got a 1, so they get +1 strength, which will help against those boys when they charge in again if they get a chance. And then the Wraiths and Cetan moved up over here. The Destroyers and the Cryptek used Veil of Darkness and they jumped up over there. And everything is pretty much remain where it is. So we're going to do some Necron shooting. Oh, and the Cetan powers. Okay, end of Necron turn 1 shooting. So it was a pretty successful shooting turn with this group of warriors here. We shot the blob and we took it down to 4.
Took down 18.
Yes, 18 with one firing, and then we finished it off with the flare up. Finished that blob off with the flare up from the Doomsday Cannon, and then we fired the Doomsday Cannon into that truck at the back, and we took down 4 wounds. This truck got taken out by. Got 2 mortal wounds from the Cetan from Antimatter Meteor, and then the Wraiths fired their transdimensional beamers in and took the rest out. Done some mortal wounds and then some other wounds and ended up taking it out. And he lost 3 boys when they come out, and then the Testers fired into them, and the assault, the Death Gaze from the Cetan, and they're now down to 1. Over here, the Destroyers used extermination protocols, sorry, to re-roll hits and wounds at the big wagon, battle wagon, and done 20 wounds on it, which was really good. And the guys got out. I think you lost 2.
Lost 2 boys.
Just 2 boys. All of the looters and artillery was untouched, so we're going to go into the charge and fight phase.
No, you're right. I fired.
Okay, end of Necron, turn 1. So we got the Scarabs and the Wraiths into combat with the truck. It had 6 wounds left. The Scarabs took 2 off of it. 3. And then the Wraiths took the rest off. And he lost 2 or 1.
2.
Was it 2? 2 of the busters getting out of the tank. So I got Blood and Guts. I didn't get Defend Objective 5 and I didn't get behind enemy lines. So we are going to be going into Orks turn 2.
There we go, end of movement phase, turn 2 for me, and shooting phase. All I've really done is move up towards objective 6 a bit. These guys who got shot out of their wagon are now moving towards the Destroyers. Shot at them but missed everything. These looters shot at the Wraiths, managed to take 1 out. These tank busters shot at the Wraiths, used Daka but did nothing. Lobbers shot at the Wraiths and a cannon shot at the Wraiths, did nothing. I think that was the end of the shooting phase. So onto the charge phase, there's only really going to be 1 charge going off because anything else isn't really charging. So that's the end of Orc turn 2 movement and shooting. Right, so that's the end of the charge, fight phase and all that. So the Meganobs, the big mech with Headwhoppers, Kill Chopper and Gaz charging into the Destroyers. Didn't get to fight with the big mech because Gaz has got a lot of power actually. First time I've used him, he's quite good in combat, isn't he?
Very good.
So he's got rid of those. Crypt deck, they consolidate into the Crypt deck. We fought back, but he gets 1 attack, so that wasn't really particularly useful. Left the little blob of boys behind because I needed to secure objective 4. That's where we are. That's end of fight phase turn 2.
So we've done Necron movement and shooting. So we picked up Kingslayer, defend objective 5, secure objective 1.
3.
We only had defend objective 5, but secure objective 1. So objective 1 is just over there by the rocks. So what happened is we used the Cetan powers, took
Unfortunately, we should have done that.
2 wounds. Yeah, and 1 over here.
Probably rolled a 1 anyway.
We fired all the Wraiths into there and took everything else out but 2. These Immortals advanced up. This Illuminar Cesares gave these +1 to ballistic skill, and the Overlord had already My Will Be Done both warrior units. They fired into the big mechs.
Mega Knobs.
Mega Knobs, and took all of the Mega Knobs out, apart from one, and then the fire around this to the rest. He fired his big gun at the looters at the back, and actually didn't even get a wound through. Really bad rolling. Obviously the Cryptek had dropped out of combat, so that they could be shot. The Cetan's moved over and is defending objective 5. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase. End of Necron turn 2. I just to say that when I used the stratagem to reanimate the wraiths, and I rolled 2 5s and a 6, so I got all 3 back. So it was well worth the 2 command points. These wraiths killed the 2 last tank busters. The scarabs charged into Ghazghkull, and I used the stratagem to explode one of them and done D3 mortal wounds and done 3 wounds. And then Ghazghkull swiped his big claw, custom claw, his big chopper, whatever it was, and the scarabs disappeared.
He whacked out his big chopper.
Yeah, he whacked out his big chopper and they all disappeared. So we are going into Orks turn 3. Oh, I did get secure objective 1. I haven't got. I'll get defend objective 5 hopefully at the end of John's turn, and then Kingslayer maybe at some point. So Orks, going into Orks turn 3.
Right, end of Orc movement phase turn 3. So we've kind of spread the line of grots from objective 2 all the way across to 6. The artillery's staying still down there, no point moving it. The weird boy moved back into cover and jumped the looters all the way up the back of the table here. So they're looking over a big blob of warriors. Snickrot jumped in with his commandos, again, right at the back there, see what happens there. And the boys over here stayed put on objective 4. The big Mech custom force field and Ghazghkull decided they're just going to have a bit of fun with some warriors and see what happens. So we'll see what happens over there. End of movement phase, movement and psychic phase, turn 3. There we go, end of Orc shooting phase, not particularly effective. I think I took a wound off a wraith with everything I shot.
2 wounds?
2 wounds, sorry, there you go. Grots shot, didn't do anything. Lubbers and cannons shot, they did the wounds.
Yeah.
You then had commando shots and looters shot with Daka, 1 shot a piece though this turn, which was a bit useless. The warriors didn't do anything. Ghazghkull shot at his lot of warriors over there, did nothing. The rest of the guys are all bladed up, so not particularly useful shooting phase, but hopefully the assault phase will help us out a bit. So on to Orcs turn 3 assault phase. Here we go, end of turn 3 Orcs assault phase. Ghazghkull jumped in, did a bit of damage, took out 3 warriors over here. The commandos and Snickrot charged in on the Illuminous Cesares. Took down 4 damage, unfortunately, 1 shy of killing him. The Snickrot died on the fight back to one of perhaps relics. Had what relic was it?
The Void Reaper.
Void Reaper, yeah, used that and took out Snickrot. 2 attacks or 2 wounds with 3 damage each, so that was him dead. And we lost 2 commandos as well there. So not a great fight phase, but not too bad. I think that was everything here. In terms of cards, we managed to secure objective, not 5, where was it? We got supremacy for D3, and we got 5, so 3 points there. And we also didn't get secure objective 5.
No, it was just, we didn't hold the line. No,
didn't hold the line.
That was it.
But that was it. Yeah. So end of turn 3. Over to Pat's Necrons turn 3.
Okay, Necron turn 3. So we've got some cards. Secure objective 5. Scarabs have moved over. Cetan's moved away. We've got defend objective 1, which is over at the back, and Kingslayer. And the king of the Orcs, of all the Orcs, is right here. The warriors have dropped out of combat. Illuminous Cesares has dropped out of combat here. The Overlord and these warriors are still in combat with the commandos. The Immortals nudged over, the Cetans come over. The Cryptek's moved slightly. Over the back here, the Wraiths have moved up towards the artillery. and then we're gonna go into the shooting. Okay, end of Necron shooting, turn 3. The Cetan moved over. He used antimatter meteor on Gazgul. He took him down 3 wounds. He then used his death gaze and took him down the rest. So the king is dead. We took one boy off over there with the Doomsday Ark. These Tesla Immortals took all of the looters out, and then up at the other end, the Wraiths took out 2 of the artillery guns. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase. Okay, end of Necron turn 3. So we had a little fight over here. We lost 2 warriors, and the commandos lost 6. They lost a couple to morale. And then over at this end, the Wraiths took out another artillery weapon. We got Kingslayer, obviously, which we rolled 6-4 on the D3. We got secure objective 5, sorry. So we've got up to 8 victory points, and we're on thingy to get defend objective 1. John is also on 8 victory points as well. At this point, John is gonna concede because all he has left is these 2 commandos, some Gretchen, 2 cannons which they would be consolidated into, and a sneaky weird boy around here. Oh, and a group of 5 boys there. And obviously I've still got this big bob here, the Doomsday Cannon, the Immortals, the Cetan, the Scarabs, and then the 6 Wraiths at the back. Any thoughts, John?
Orks need help. Orks need help. Need a codex.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, I've never played Orks before. And for my first time playing Orks, I thought, wow, like, I didn't realise how easy it was going to be to kill them.
At end of your first turn, you had taken out a blob of 30 boys, a battle wagon, 2 trucks, and most of the occupants of one of those trucks as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it was. I just can't believe they've got no feel no pains and things like this. They need it.
That's why I actually went for
even the fluff you would think they would do, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean, I was very, very fortunate with reanimation. I done the Wraith reanimation stratagem, and I got all 3 Wraiths back, which is huge. I reanimated pretty much I was getting my warriors back to pretty much full strength every time. I mean, at the end of turn 3, the only things that I haven't got on the board are my destroyers and 2 warriors. And obviously I can get them 2 warriors back next turn. And John just hasn't got.
I've not got anything.
He's not got anything that's going to do any damage. And at the moment, with the way victory points are, we're even, and it's like I am going to have a lot more chance to get more victory points than he's going to. So, and I've got First Blood and Sailor Warlord, so I'm actually on 10 anyway. So we're going to call it there. It's a good game, and we'll see you in the next one.